the slogan that you have to visit Kamphaeng Din so that you can reach Chiang Mai. It's really old and quite old-fashioned motto, and it's like for only young people to talk to that motto, but you have to be a little bit careful, and you have to go to more public conference, not like in only Thailand, or you have to have a chance to go abroad.
To respond to the last point that you made about the motto, I said I raised this motto because of the why Khosong become booming, and she said that during the 1960s and 70s there was a motto. That's the motto I was said because it was the like you said that very old-fashioned motto. Yes, because that's the old-fashioned motto. I set up because I would like to trace back the history why Khosong became a boom because of this motto during 1960 and 70. I don't use it for now because Kamphaeng is no more position. And I know that there is no more position serving or not. But actually, I passed by but didn't observe until midnight and see many ladies walking around at that place. So this was the motto I would like to tell about the historical context of tourism promotion during the 1960s and 70s. And also you suggested me to study deeply or maybe a little bit accurately about the origins of khao soi. And I have an argument already that khao soi is somewhere, we cannot say that it's Jin Ho noodle or it's Thai or it's Northern Thai, and it's different. We would like to link the consumption of the khao soi, the identity of khao soi, and the identity of Chiang Mai. Actually, I don't know that it's legitimate or not to link these together, but I would like to say that it's multiple characteristics and multiple identities. We don't know who's this Chiang Mai person. Can be Lawa, can be Northern Thai, can be Thai Yai, or can be Lao. We don't know original people of Chiang Mai exactly. So it's like khao soi. We cannot say khao soi where khao soi is from or who is invented khao soi. No, khao soi is invented by who. I think it's difficult, yeah. So that's why maybe it's kind of boring and a bit challenging to say, to not be clear cut tell that khao soi is Jin Ho noodle, something like that. And yet, you also write about the word of khao soi. Yes, in this quotation from the book Inside the Southeast Asian Kitchen, they said the word khao soi is in Myanmar simply means noodle. Yeah, I didn't say that.
I think this wraps up our session about origins. The Buddha said it's no point to worry about origins, really. When did the universe begin, right? We don't know. But we are at the end of our time, and I'd like to thank all the panelists for very interesting papers that relate together salt, garlic, khao soi. You think khao soi without salt and garlic? There's a break for 15 minutes, and then we resume food and folk for a discussion of Muslim food and food in the South and Thai. So come back, please.
important speakers whom Jiradan has asked as students, he couldn't join us for today. So shall we just listen to the speakers? First of all, I have the pleasure to welcome Professor Dr. Wani Anderson, distinguished anthropologist from Department of Anthropology and Ethnic Studies Concentration, Brown University. We are very proud to have her working here as visiting professor at Thaistudies Center, Faculty of Arts, Chulalongkorn University. Her well-known book that many of Thai students use is and I would like to inform you that in the next 6 months, we will give you a new book entitled Mapping Thai Muslims, published by Silver Books. Her presentation today came from her long-tissue dialogue studies in certain parts of Thailand during 1979, 1982 to present. Now, may I have the honor of Dr. Wani Anderson.
Thank you very much for the introduction. The title of my paper is Food as Coded Message, a Muslim Community Context. Food carries multiple meanings in culture. Some food items are considered scrumptious food, good to eat. Others are culturally taboo, considered not good to eat, or considered as utter moral depravity, like eating human flesh, that certain cannibalistic tribes in the past used to practice. Other food are religiously taboo, like the non-halal Muslim food and the non-kosher Jewish food, deemed as unclean and not pure food. To use the term used by one food specialist, Gillette. Marvin Harris, a well-known anthropologist of food studies, observes that when the total range of potential foodstuffs in the world is considered, the dietary inventory of food that people selected to eat in each culture is surprisingly quite narrow. My paper today focuses on the food culture of Nepal Island. As you can see in the picture, this is a home in the village built in the traditional style, and this home belongs to people in the middle socioeconomic class. The sides of the house are made of wood thatch. Nepal Island is a Thai Muslim community on the island coast in southeastern Thailand. I conducted, as in the introduction said, a longitudinal and archaeological research project over several few seasons. The island as a Muslim community was founded a little bit over 200 years ago at the time of Rama I of King Putiyappa. It is located across the estuary from downtown Krabi. It is a fishing and rice farming community. Most able-bodied men are hired hands in ocean fishing trawler boats called Ria Wondun. Until 5 years ago, before the initially department banned fishing from small fishing boats called the other boats is still one down. Until 5 years ago, before the fishery department banned fishing from small fishing boat called Ria Wondun, to replenish the supply of harvested shrimps. A few families were self-employed fishermen who sold their fish and shrimp harvest mostly at the island morning market for local consumption. Women, on the other hand, cultivate and process rice that they harvest from family-owned plots on the island or in dentist rice plot of the island. Rice farming on the island is a subsistence activity that is for family consumption only, not for commercial sale. What is the food culture on the island? The breakfast menu on the island consists of a number of local food items. The most important is khonam tea, that is thin white noodles made from rice flour, topped with very spicy fish sauce, served with sliced fresh cucumber and local herbs, such as young tips of the cashew nut trees and the bitter green stalk. This is a kind of southern eatables that has the size of big large beans lima beans in a pot, and it's very, very bitter. I could call it bitter Thai lima beans. And whenever that style is in season. Another traditional breakfast, just as spicy, and for me, every time I tried it, it brought tears to my eyes, is khao yam. Rice, that is the type that is rice salad, made with cooked rice, mixed with toasted coconut flakes, and finely sliced green beans, seasoned with dressing of the meat, that is shrimp paste, nam pla, sugar, and hot pepper. The spiciness of these two breakfast dishes is quite consistent with the spiciness of southern Thai foodways. Khao yam salad is also served on the southeastern coast, where you find Pattani, Yala, and Narathiwat. But the Andaman coast khao yam salad dressing has its own regional signature in that its dressing has distinctive ingredients different from the southeastern coast voodoo sauce. Also, khonam tea as a breakfast dish is original Andaman coast tradition. Southerners from the southeastern coast have been known to travel all the way to the Andaman coast to have an absolutely delicious khonam tea. Another typical breakfast item sold on the island is roasted sticky rice, which is perfect with hot coffee in the morning. Their staple lunch and dinner diet is cooked white rice, served with side dishes ranging from chicken and fish curry dish, roasted fish, namprit, the hot sauce, with different kinds of fresh vegetables, to sauté fresh vegetables. It can be said that rice, that is wet rice, served in various forms, is the core diet of the community. Fish and other seafood products, such as shrimps, crabs, shellfish, form the secondary core diet. These are food resources that the islanders can procure locally from the marine natural resources in the estuary close by. Unlike the southeastern coast, intermarriages across religious and ethnic groups are not permitted on Nipa Island. Many food items sold in the village snack shops indicates influence of these cultural contacts, true intermarriages as well as the contact with other ethnic groups on mainland Tibet, resulting therefore in what one folklorist by the name of Don Yoder refers to as the culinary hybrid, quote unquote, of Nipa Island foodways, ranging from northeastern Thai somtam, and they have to translate that, roasted chicken, Sino-Thai fried noodles of soy sauce, as you, sold in one shop to video now, Thai noodles too. And then Indian roti sold in another shop. And chicken steak on skewers sold by a few housewives and vendors walking from house to house with a tray of food balanced on one shoulder. Eating these foods is what I would like to call the tasting act of crossing ethnic and cultural boundaries. Since these introduced food items tend to be eaten as snacks, their culinary status within the community is that of the periphery diet. John Bennett, another food scholar, mentioned that the core diet is the most emotionally resistant to change, whereas a peripheral diet can be dropped or new ones introduced. His observation is borne out on Nepal Island. On my last 2 visits to the island, I found that my favorite somtam snack shop that I used to have lunch at had stopped serving somtam when the owner decided to sell breakfast instead of lunch. In order to avoid competing with the other breakfast shops that sell canteen and kaya, the sisters who run this shop decided to sell noodle soup and Indian roti instead. As scientifically verified by the urine analysis of the urine samples that I collected and analyzed by the laboratories of the Institute of Tropical Medicine of Thailand University, Nepal Island diet with a strong emphasis on fish and fresh vegetables results in a high protein diet, making Nepal Island a very, very healthy community. 17 different varieties of rice were planted on Nepal Island in 1982, which was the year when I carried out the main part of the study. They were taxonomically classified locally into 2 major varieties, khao-kan or hard rice and khao-on, meaning soft rice. Nepal Island farmers made a pragmatic decision on which varieties of rice they selected to plant. More of the hard rice variety are planted because they can be eaten both as rice for the main meal or for making dessert. The soft rice varieties can be used only for the main meal rice, and even as such, they are not in high favor with the housewives because they tend to stick to the bottom of the pot when cooked. The decision on which varieties of rice are to be planted and at what time are all made by women. Rice as the core diet of the community positioned women on the island importantly as the rice spinner of the family. Nepal Island women take a great pride in their rice farming skills, in their economic contribution to the family, in their vast knowledge about the different varieties of rice, and in their knowledge about the rice farming techniques. They are the carrier of the rice farming cultural knowledge, very well acknowledged and respected within the village itself. One anthropologist by the name of Abner Cohen states that social relationship can be developed and sustained in symbolic form. At a rice harvesting season that I witnessed in the picture that you see on the screen, this is a young man carrying the rice bag at the end of the harvesting season. I'm going to proceed to the next one. Full basket of rice harvested. This is a gathering of women at noontime to have lunch together. And the kind of food served, how it was served, and when it was served, convey meaningful communication about the social relationships between the owner of the rice paddy being harvested and people who form the cooperative work group. As mentioned by the women, the formation of a successful rice planting and rice harvesting group depends on the family social standing within the village itself. That is, how the family is liked and respected in the community. During the harvest, members of the work team have to be well treated. Sumptuous lunch will be prepared every day and served underneath the shady area at the edge of the rice field by a family whose rice paddies were being harvested. During the meal, the family waited on members of the harvest team and did not sit down for lunch themselves until everyone finished with the dessert. Women high status. In this particular context was also conveyed in the eating order. Women ate first, and the two young men who were responsible for carrying the baskets of harvested rice back home that you saw in the picture earlier were the last to eat. Many Nipa Island housewives and unmarried women made themselves into business women. They ran snack shops and coffee shops in different locations across the island. These small business enterprises enable women to be economically independent, as expressed by one woman. I feel great to be spending the money that I have not earned myself. Which coffee shop or snack shop the islanders frequented depends not only on which one is closest to their home, but also on which one is the social gathering place of their social circle. The snack shops owned by the Four Sisters and operated by the Four Sisters was a popular meeting place of women who gathered there to eat and exchange village news. And this is the place that I always shop for lunch and to try to gather information from the women. At another coffee shop owned by the imams, that is the religious leaders' wife, was a meeting place for older men who wanted to meet with the imam informally to socialize or to discuss Islam precepts. At another location, the coffee shop owned by the village headsman's wife had customers who came to consult with the headman on administrative matters and to read the newspapers that the village headman bought from town and left out in his thatched roof reading quarter next to the coffee shop. Among female adolescents, visiting each other at home and sharing the snacks dishes they cooked together are part of the coded message of that close friendship. On the other hand, village community events such as wedding, this is a scene where the women in village get together to prepare the food for the one wedding that I participated. So weddings and at the end of the completion of the study of the first Quranic book and the Hari Raya, the last day of the fast period, and Kausuna, the male circumcision events, are all very important social occasions. These are marked periods when the Islamic religious identity is communicated and the family bond is renewed as members of the family, including those who live in other villages and men who work on fishing boat in Phuket, make a point to return home to be with the family and to celebrate with the family. These are occasions when a variety of food dishes is prepared, feasted on, and the shared food symbolizes the sharing of happiness, the renewed bonding of family and friends, Muslim religious devotion, and Muslim identity. This is a scene of Kausuna, the ritual when the young bride had the male circumcision ritual, you might notice that they are being carried on the backs of the men, like in the Thai Buddhist ordination ceremony, and the boys are all wear face makeup and wear a shawl across the shoulder. In the 1983 Kasuna ritual, the largest was a 5-day event organized by the Imam of a neighboring community, whose son was one of the young boys participating in this particular rite of passage. Families of the boys who were involved in the ritualized event contribute money and food to the organizer. In addition to the Muslim ritualized aspect of the Kausana, a number of other social events, such as grand procession, boxing, boat races, boat procession, and movies. These were scheduled and also followed by many sumptuous meals at the end of the day. By the first day, Good Feast was an all-Muslim event. That is, the members, people who were invited to the events were all Muslim from around the area. The second day feast on the second day included non-Muslim guests. Formal invitation cards were printed and sent out to non-Muslim dignitaries, government officials, and big businessmen. A significant Muslim cultural value is hospitality to outsiders. This biggest second-day event feast was a social display of the Muslim cultural value. On this one day, the Muslim community played the role of the host and displayed the community's largest Jew, Muslim, and non-Muslim others alike, who honored them with their presence at the ritual and at the feast and contributed financially to the event. Of course, many of the candidates to become representatives to the province made a point of being there and make themselves visible and contribute a very large chunk of money to the events, hoping to corner the Muslim votes when the election time comes. As in Abner Cohen's frame of analysis, these particular feasts communicate a dialectical relationship between the symbolic action, that is the feast itself, and the power relationships, equal or hierarchical, among those who participated in the feast. As you can see from the discussion of the Nepal Island food culture, food, what is eaten, its taste, its texture, how it is cooked, how it is served, to whom it is served, and when it is served, and in what particular context. These particular aspects are unique to each cultural group, and it is a culinary cultural symbol that communicates group distinction, and according to another food scholar by the name of Susan Kausick, it also communicates group membership and belongingness, and you can use the term group identity. And as conveyed in Nepal Island food culture, it also encodes messages about the nature of the social relationship and the power relationship among people within the culture as well as across culture. Thank you very much, and I would be happy to entertain questions from you. One question? Yes?
Well, let me try it that way. I have one small comment and one small question. The comment is, you started with the Marvin Harris statement that most cultures make very little use of the available food around them. Most cultures taboo most of the food available. Marvin Harris didn't know Southeast Asia. If he would have come to Isan or Laos, he would have been surprised. He would really extend the limits of ability beyond his expectations. My question is, we speculated a little bit on origins and authenticity and stuff like that. And you mentioned or privileged Kanong Jin as food down there. What is your thesis on the origins of Kanong Jin?
To repeat the question, the question is that Marvin Harris made a comment that people all over the world have not taken advantage of all the food available and can be eaten. And of course, Marvin Harris, he is an artist, and he looked at the way people consume food from the standpoint of what is available and what people eat, and to what extent people take advantage of what is available. And the comment is that if Marvin Harris had come to Thailand, he would be very surprised, and maybe he would modify that. Because I remember that one chapter that Marvin Harris wrote in his book of Good to Eat. He talked about insects eating. He didn't mention Thailand. And yes, definitely he hasn't come to Isan and even come to Bangkok to see certain areas where fried takatan or fried something else are being served. Anyway, this is something that I haven't been able to find. And I read in the newspaper, but I once staked my life on it. Somebody said that it is originally Mon. And I just went to visit a Mon village, and the Mon people didn't claim it as their original dish. And I didn't know who, the person who wrote the newspaper account made a mistake or not, but I have been trying to find out about it, but I don't know. But the intriguing thing is that the Kanong Jin in it means Chinese noodles. And, I'm sorry, I can't give you the answer on that. It's something that I still would like to know too.
If I were allowed, I would like to comment on that too. That would have been my second question. Why is it not called Kanong? It's called Kanong Jin. And I want to comment on Marvin Harris because he's such an influential thinker. What he says is that if you make, let's say, pork available to people, then people will stop eating insects and they only eat pork. And people always argue that the people of Isan, they're so poor and they're so ignorant, and that's why they eat insects. Now, pork is cheaper than maleng, and maleng is expanding. Yeah, people like to eat it. They love to eat it. And Marvin Harris never realized that insects can be delicious.
Yes.
High protein.
High protein.
Very high protein. But so it's this chapter on people eating, and he said people have high protein diet, So actually, if we are not too squeamish about it, we can eat each other. In fact, cannibalistic tribes did that for the idea that if they starve and there's nothing to eat, they might eat their bodies, and other groups eat human bodies as a revenge. You eat the meat of the enemies and so on. So from Marvin Harris' standpoint, a lot of things are high protein diet. People avoid it because of certain taboos, and of all the taboos that is being constructed by people of different cultures, cannibalism is on the top of the list. Other comments?
And we would like to thank you for our speaker. Let's have the great applause. Let's begin our next session, Food and Consumption Culture of Muslims. I'd like to introduce Associate Professor Dr. Vinay Dala. Associate Professor Dr. Vinay Dala is the Director of the Thailand Research Fund of Chulalongkorn University. He got many awards, especially the Malaysia's Harvard Journal Award of Best Innovation in Higher Industry 2008 and Commission Award for Higher Achievement 2008 from Islamic Dawah Council of Philippines. And he is a famous columnist from, he has many pieces of documentary articles in science and technology, food and nutrition. So please, Professor Vinay.
Thank you. I think I come to the different world of mine. I'm a scientist. Then this presentation occurred accidentally by the mistake of my secretary. But anyway, because I thought at the beginning that I was asked to send just a paper. Then finally, after came back from abroad, I was informed that I had to give a presentation orally. But anyway, I think I'm happy to give us some experience of mine. But there's still another mistake that I have to apologize because this presentation is about universal Muslim consumption is not specifically Thai. And I think I try to give some good example about the culture of Muslim worldwide, not only Thai. And there was a gentleman asked about the kanonjin. Then I may give some opinion. Kanonjin is originated from Mon, but they come from Mon word kanam. Kanam is not kanon. Kanam is mean boiled rice, but this boiled 2 times. And jin is mean make it round, make it circle. Then finally, kanamjin is mean boiled rice, boiled 2 times. Then finally, something like that. And I visited several Mon villages during my I wrote a paper on King Chulalongkorn, the Yamahara. And then we mentioned also about the Khanomji. That's why I tried to find out the story of this famous dish. Now, finally, you know, Thai culture, we can merge everything from other, and finally we transform it to be Thai. I think it's for the moment, Khanomji is more famous in Thailand than in Burma, than in Myanmar. This is just my opinion. Okay, this is a paper about food and